Entering there will Metro TV, so morning shows, so we see a Pawani Bashadi, a Sawani, as I see a catcher. We see a the thing I say, and there, Metro TV, so no, Felix Ofosu Kwakye, and a Adom watcher, a copium, or morning show, no so. Now we see a Adom watcher, you're dragging necessarily a drag a collabi, or form. Felix Ofosu Kwakye at a TB at a maneno, it was shown us because when you say, Jasmine Catano, some people were born bad. Yeah, one says Sebi, they were born bad, Ankasa. I mean, they may say translated but some people were born bad. Paladomoche, one of them. Any name is Munua, Wontumi, Eddie, or Ghana has a name, no, and they were Metro TV, so no. Paladomoche, in Yahunya, but Regina Kunya Tamasi, a defendee, Wontumi to the fullest. And of Ofosu Kwakye will say, say you, Paladomoche, no one now we call TV, so Sabinas assembly. When it to your person independent the bonnet, name no, which is what they are so bright here, a defending a pacron, Nebusia, and so Borwa, and Cassa Petil, Felix Ofosu Kwakye, at a TB at the money, Polano Moch. Remember, make a celebrate video number. I malikbasintale TV. So, but
you see, it encapsulates the attitude of the Akufo-Addo administration and the MPP government to dealing with wrongdoing. And it's not just in the case of the contaminated CID report. We saw it in the case of the Australia visa scandal. There was supposed to be a CID report that was never made public. And yet the president purported to have cleared Sajidi without telling us who actually engaged in that visa racketeering. Because we do know for a fact that visa racketeering occurred. President Akufo was not willing to punish anybody for anything that they did under his government. So you pass an LI, abuse it, award mining leases to party cronies. They engage in illegal mining. The CID investigates. And then you come on national television and say that the person who has been fingered in that CID report is innocent and do nothing. We came into power.
The CID report that we are looking for.
Absolutely. The Attorney General has based charges.
The current Attorney General.
Absolutely.
But you said Akufo ignored the CID report. But when was it presented to him?
But why? No, the report doesn't have to be presented to the CID.
It goes to the president.
It goes to the Attorney General.
But the Attorney General,
no.
Galamey says he hasn't seen it.
Of course, but he would deny it, wouldn't he?
Oh, so you think he's denying it?
But why? Why wouldn't he deny it? Otherwise, what other explanation exists?
So you are sure that Galamey received the CID report?
I'm saying that what other... First of all, when the government of the day commissioned investigations, did Akufo-Addo not tell us that that matter was being investigated? He told us. And then he came back to say that the investigations have found that he did nothing wrong. Is that not so? But I'm telling you that the CID had a report that the government was aware of, that they failed to act on.
And the former Attorney General was aware of it.
He knew it.
He says he's not aware of it.
If he didn't know it, then he didn't deserve to be in his position. Because why? How did this Attorney General know about the existence of the report?
Can you share that report? Is it possible?
It is not a problem. The point is that the
Attorney General... And the date on which it was done.
Paul, the Attorney General of the day cannot claim that he didn't know that a report like that existed. So, in fact, what they're actually saying is then that they didn't even investigate the claims against Amitama, which is even worse.
No, maybe you should call the Attorney General and ask him that. The government minister says you were aware of a report. He says I'm not aware of a report.
What you are saying has grave implications for the competence of the Attorney General.
No, but he's telling me directly.
No, so what you are saying is that as Attorney General, as President, there were such grave allegations of environmental terrorism against a party chairman whom you had given a lease to operate in a forest reserve, and you didn't investigate it.
No, you are saying two things. You see,
I'm not saying
you are a government minister. You are saying that there is a CID report.
I'm telling you for a fact that there is a CID report
which was given to the former Attorney General
2022
and handed over to the Akufo-Addo administration.
Given to government, which they didn't act on.
Yeah, but no, please let's be clear on that. So given to Attorney General, government, Jubilee House, who got the report and did not act on it.
I'm saying that the government of the day, the Attorney General, cannot claim that he doesn't know about it.
He's claiming precisely so.
The implication of what you are saying is that he was not fit for his office. And that indeed,
but you have to provide evidence that he got it.
By inaction, he was complicit in Galamey. By inaction.
Oh, but that's unfair. That's really unfair.
I'm saying
that's really unfair.
No. Listen to my words carefully.
The Attorney General says he hasn't received any CID report.
Listen to my words carefully. I'm saying by inaction. I'm not saying that he's involved in Galamey.
Why is the inaction?
The inaction is that there's an allegation. What he's saying means that he was not concerned. Okay? He was not concerned that a known figure in Ghanaian society, you even forget about the fact that he was MPP, a known figure in Ghanaian society, who had received a mining lease on the say-so of the president, had gone into the forest area, which is a protected zone, and carried out unlawful mining activity, which was deleterious to the environment. And he couldn't be bothered.
How couldn't he be bothered?
By what he's
saying,
saying,
he couldn't be bothered?
If he was bothered, first of all, he has the power as Attorney General. Why? Dr. Ini. We woke
Are
up
you
one
talking about a dereliction of duty or a report that came to him?
It is. He is claiming dereliction of duty. But
I said he didn't receive reports.
But by saying so, he is claiming dereliction of. It was his duty to look into that matter. The same way Dr. Ini, when reports emerged that 2 NDC executives were involved in Galamey, we woke up one morning. We heard him clearly direct Yoko to look into. As I speak to you, Yoko is looking into the matter.
But that's what the civil society was asking President Mahama.
No,
wasn't mentioned.
Paul, if you let me land.
I thought you had landed.
If you let me land. I'm not landed. Moro, the point I'm making is that there's a CID report that the government was aware of. They didn't act. They concealed it. And there's
But you don't have evidence of that. I'm sorry, Minister. You really can't say that.
No.
You have to provide evidence to the press.
Paul, what you are canvassing is even worse than what I'm saying. What you are saying, that President Akufo-Addo.
No, you are making a valid statement that something happened.
I am.
And you are not able to defend it that it happened.
When the police CID work, they work up to the Attorney General.
Yes,
in fact, until recently, I didn't know that when it comes to investigations, it is actually the Attorney General who has jurisdiction over CID, not the Interior Minister. Godfrey Adom cannot claim that he was not aware of it. What he is saying,
he's claiming so that he's not aware of it.
Then I'm
asking Metro TV to perhaps contact the Attorney General and tell him that the government minister says he's aware of the report.
That is why I'm saying that by implication, through inaction, that he was complicit in Galamey. I'm not saying that he was involved in Galamey.
This is shifting the goalposts. I'm
not. But I'm telling you that it also speaks to the lack of seriousness on the part of your government. The same party.
But that's shifting the goalposts.
I'm not shifting the goalposts.
You said there's a report they ignored. If they said they didn't see it, then they were complicit.
The charges.
Why are you picking and choosing?
Listen. I'm not picking and choosing.
It's clearly shifting the goalposts.
It is just that you are intentionally refusing to let me make my point.
Please make your point.
Because you know that I'm making the point.
Please make the point.
There are two things. You are president. A controversy ensues. Indeed, this is a controversy that the president publicly spoke to. He told us that the matter was being looked into. Who was looking into the matter? It's police CID.
Your point is, so Felix, your point is that
it's not only police CID who is looking into the matter. When the president says a matter is being looked at, it could be Yoko. It could be police CID.
Who looked into the matter?
It could be the committee from the Attorney General's Association. I don't know. You say that there's the CID report.
So you're saying that it is not possible for the CID to have looked into this matter without the Attorney General's
How
department.
How is that possible?
Not knowing anything about it.
No, when the president says...
That's what he's trying to say. The Attorney General says that nothing of the sort came to his desk.
So
he must show it.
How do you explain it?
Explain what?
Especially when... Moro, if you let me land, I'm on the floor.
How do you know CID was working on something?
I'm not saying
I'm the one on the floor.
No, how do you know that CID was working on it?
Based on what he's saying.
It could have been Yoko. It could have been CID. There are many investigative authorities.
No, he mentioned CID.
He's not providing the evidence for that. He's not able to.
I'm taking it based on what he said.
What he said, he's not able to provide evidence. When you ask him to shift the goalpost to dereliction of duty, he talks about a report that is available. That tells us there's no report. If you don't have a report, there's dereliction of duty.
The reason why,
and that you're complicit in Galamey.
True inaction. You see, again, if you let me land, just hold your horses and let me land. Two issues have emerged. When the Akonta mining incident occurred, Moro, Paul, you know for a fact that President Akufo-Addo publicly spoke to it. He was the one who told us that the matter is being looked into, right?
Yes.
You are saying that you don't know which specific agency. So
he didn't say. The president didn't say.
So who was looking into it?
It could have been.
I'm telling you that it was the CID.
Yes,
No. Listen.
That is the CID.
It is the CID that looked into it.
Fair enough. And you said the report went to the Attorney General. The Attorney General says there's no such report.
Number two, when the CID finished, that report exists. The government didn't act. And it is not the first time. Professor Frimpong Boateng's report. Don't you know that it was concealed for several years after he had presented him to President Akufo-Addo?
Who said that?
Professor Boateng himself said it.
He himself said it?
Indeed.
Okay. So you believe Frimpong Boateng?
Oh, but why
Charles Bissiou, the secretary, says Frimpong Boateng's statement is not correct. Charles Bissiou, this week, he's the secretary to the committee. He says Frimpong Boateng's report is not correct.
Why should we take the secretary's word and leave the word of the chairperson, the person that the president himself
Charles says he did the report.
But Moro, why are you interrupting?
This is Moro.
Professor Frimpong Boateng, he was the environment minister. President Akufo-Addo charged him respond directly to oversee the fight against Galamey. The Malcolm Pasha report presents it to the president in which he names names. This report was concealed from you and I. It was not government that put it out. It was the media that leaked that report.
What's the consequence? Where's the CID report?
The consequence is that you have a history of concealing reports that indict your people. And I'm telling you that the CID, as far back as 2022, had this report. When the president said it was being looked into. It was the CIA that was looking into it.
Okay, let's see what happens with the Joseph Yami report.
It doesn't matter.
And then we can. It matters.
No,
because it's the same vein. And the civil society were concerned that at your press meeting, at your meeting with civil society, Ken Asibe was concerned. He called the elephant in the room. He said, "You, Felix, and the president have ignored the elephant in the room, which is Yami." That's what he said.
The elephant in the room was Akufo-Addo and the MPP.
Akufo and MPP are out of power.
But if you let me land, Paul, when you were speaking, I kept quiet for you. I disagree with your points.
Fair enough.
The elephant in the room
is Yamin.
Was that Akufo-Addo and his party, the MPP, found Galamsey as a source of funding. So they were complicit and were not prepared to fight it. It is the reason why they were concealing every important report from the people of Ghana.
I think that's an interesting point.
It's an interesting point. Number two.
I thought I was going to say something.
Unlike you, President Mahama, nobody came to compel him to commission an investigation into Yamin and Abanga. You woke up one day and the Attorney General had instructed Yoku that based on the reports that he had received about the alleged involvement of these gentlemen in Galamsey, it should be looked into. In fact, he disclosed only last week that not only is Yoko acting on the reports that had initially been received, and that once they started, several other stakeholders had slapped in what they say is further evidence of the involvement of these gentlemen in Galamsey. And so the investigation has actually been brought in. When it is completed, he will present the report to President Mahama. And I can assure you that if such a report ever gets to President Mahama, it will not be concealed in the manner that President Akufo-Addo did. So when I speak about feigned outreach, and the reason why the MPP needs to be dismissed when they purport to be concerned about Galamsey, these are the actions that we have factored into the analysis. They were never concerned. Listen, they were never concerned about Galamsey. For them, it was a means of enrichment. And I'm on record to have said, I said it on Newsfire, they play it again today, that there were greedy, money-loving men in that party who saw Galamsey as a source of quick wealth. And therefore, there was no commitment on the part of the president, his government, and the party. That has changed. I told you only a while ago, that's what President Mahama, he won't even allow an appointee of his to be involved in lawful mining, let alone illegal mining.
Have licenses been issued this year?
There are licenses that you issued last year.
Yes, have there been licenses issued this year?
Listen. What licenses did President Akufo-Addo, President Mahama speak about? He spoke about licenses into forest reserves. When we came to power, sometime in 2024, you had issued a lease to a company to mine in a forest reserve. Once you issue the lease, there are consequential actions, such as an entry permit, which the Minerals Commission and the Forest Commission are obliged to give to the company that you had lawfully committed us to. Because if you don't do that, it's breach of contract. So there's no wrongdoing.
By so licenses have been issued this year by the John Mahama government.
Of course, but again, listen. Licenses are issued to lawful mining companies, not Galamsey. Galamsey don't require licenses.
So why is the Galamsey increasing?
Galamsey has not increased. I have given you empirical evidence. You are shooting off the hip.
The Chief Justice was wrong, right?
I beg you, please, again, let me land. You see, the Chief Justice, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, civil society, they are all concerned about Galamsey. If there are a flurry of reports of river bodies turning murky, they reserve the right to express their concern. They may believe in the instant circumstance that there is an increase. But I have given you empirical evidence of the global picture of Galamsey as we inherited it and the gains made so far. So what any objective analyst does is to compare the facts as they exist now against what existed under the MPP and draw a conclusion. The conclusion is that there have been incremental gains, but it is not sufficient to overcome.
So the Galamsey has not increased.
It has not increased.
The stability of the water has definitely increased.
You don't measure the incidence of Galamsey by just the stability of water. Because Galamsey doesn't take place only in riverine areas. It takes place in forest reserves.
So what do we do with the stability of the water going up? What do we do with that fact?
Relax. Paul, what is going to happen? And indeed, when the gentleman from the Water Resources Commission appeared last Friday on the CSO platform of the president, he gave you evidence that in areas where NIMOS has intensified operations and is rounding up Galamseyers and disrupting the activity, there is clear improvement in the stability levels, which then suggests that if they intensify it and reach every corner of this country where Galamsey is taking place, it is only a matter of time before the stability levels increase. But that is only one place where Galamsey is taking place. No, listen. It is better than it was under you.
Okay.
But it is not at the level where we can be satisfied with. Right. No way.
Okay.
But I'm saying that you must also factor in the gains made in forest reserve, because that's also another area.
Okay.
There, under your government, Paul, bandits, terrorists, held sway the government of Ghana was shut out of his own territory.
Okay.
Now we have repossessed those, and they cannot go back. That is
Right.
clear, measurable improvement.
Let me read this message. It's a very, very important message, and let me bring it. I'm sure that it would help with the analysis of this conversation on Galamsey. So Kwame Sarpong of the CDD, you know, he's big on health. He's a health practitioner. He says, I'm one of the petitioners in the Wontumi and Akonta mining matter from 2022. I can confirm that as far back as mid-2023, we, the petitioners, knew there was a CID report. As a result, we sent a number of reminders to the police CID. Now, if the former Attorney General is saying he wasn't aware after the report has now surfaced, that is a serious indictment. That's what Kwame Sarpong,
That's why I said that through inaction. He was complicit.
Can the report be published by government?
He's so surprised that he said he was aware.
No,
there was
when
a
people
report.
occupy government positions,
Yeah.
and we just believe that they will demonize them, it's very unfair.
Okay.
This is a person who was the principal legal advisor to the government. And if there was a CID report and he saw it, and he says today that, please let me finish.
This is a man who was prepared to take people sitting at an NDC office discussing a response to Owusubempah Wogon to court. This was a man who was part of the team. I'm coming. This was a man who was part of the team that took Opuni to court. And one of the things against Opuni was that he had taken 25,000 cedis from her. Well, you know Opuni very well that 25,000 cedis is chicken change. Yeah. They took him to court over this. You are telling me that if they were really...
You are questioning the integrity of the Attorney General.
Of course. Why not? Not listen. Why not? Listen. Right. If indeed he meant business about dealing with Galamsey as a principal law enforcement officer of Ghana, as Dr. Ayini is now, and he has heard about multiple reports of Wontumi's alleged involvement in Galamsey through Akonta mining in the forest reserves, and the president has publicly declared that there was an investigation, how can he now come and claim that he's unaware of this investigation?
Okay. He's not aware of the CID report. It doesn't mean he's not aware of it. There could
So
have
what investigation was there? It should come in the investigation.
But you are in government. You are telling us
I'm
that the
telling you
investigation was
that,
by
and
CID.
listen, the people who actually petitioned.
Felix, I believe you. When will you produce the CID
I'm saying
report?
that, listen, the CID report has manifested in charges in court. When they go to court, they will base their prosecution
So
on
we
that
should
report.
expect that in court there will be that CID report.
Moro,
Let me say one thing about Parliament.
You heard the Attorney General publicly say this.
Okay.
Okay,
So
fair enough. In the last Parliament, in the last Parliament, the same Godfrey Dami they are talking about lacking integrity, etc., etc., went to Parliament with the CI
No, it's not
to
about-
repeal LI 2462, the one we are talking about. There was a CI laid in Parliament
Last year.
Yes, by Godfrey Dami to repeal that one.
Which part?
Because of it's in
Which
Parliament.
part was repealed?
Oh,
So how
to
how come-
repeal the entire law.
But
So
how come they are calling for the repeal of the law was repealed?
Fair enough. No, it wasn't repealed. He laid the CI, and because of that Parliament frustration, you remember how
Which
Parliament
Parliament
used to be.
frustration? Which
It wasn't
Parliament
repealed. Now,
Parliament
it's a record in Parliament, you can check.
Now after that law,
So
it's been amended.
now,
It will be
NDC
repealed
has
when
come to
Parliament.
power.
Yes,
You see,
we'll repeal it when Parliament resumes.
It's
I'm telling
important.
you that.
NDC has come to power since the beginning of the year. They have not repealed this. Civil society is the one asking them to repeal. I like what Felix says that MPP does not have the right to speak about Galamsey because they themselves were perpetrating.
You have a right to speak about anything, but we can question your sincerity. That's
Yes,
what I'm
they themselves were
I
perpetrators
cannot
of
grant you a
Galamsey,
right.
and therefore they don't have the
It's not
right.
in my mouth to grant you a right.
I think
You
that
have
that
the
is
right. Yes.
not correct because you see when we talk about problems,
I think there's issues with
when
moral
we talk
rights.
about
I think
problems
it's
of
about moral
Ghanaians,
No, it's not about
it is
morality.
about
I can question your
the
sincerity.
work that we are doing for Ghanaians.
I can question your
It's not
sincerity.
MPP and DC. Ghanaians are worried about Galamsey and the turbidity of the water. The fact that the
True.
water that they drink
No
is
doubt
terrible.
about it.
The fact that there's
No
lead
doubt
in their
about it.
contumely.
No
That's
doubt
what
about
Ghanaians
it.
are worried about. And if the government's response is that yes, MPP, you can't talk about it. Why are you not doing the same thing? I think that
Moro,
we
has
are
that been my
debasing the
response?
politics.
Moro, has that been my
Politics
response?
is there. No, he said that MPP is not
Yes, but it is
qualified to talk
a
about
statement of
Galamsey.
fact, but
It
I
shouldn't
acknowledge
even
it.
come.
He says it's questioning the sincerity.
Sincerity
But
of
it
your
shouldn't
claim.
even come from government. Government is there to solve
Why should
problems,
it not?
not to question the sincerity of a group of people about discussing problems that concern Ghanaians.
If you grant me the space, first of all, I, as a government actor, fully aware of your complicity in the matter, have a right to raise it when you purport to be taking offense at the same thing you were doing. Number two, on this platform, I have repeated multiple times that the chief justice that he mentioned, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, Kenashigbe and the CSO friends, the media, everybody else who has raised concern has legitimate basis for doing so. I have gone ahead to tell you what we have done, but I have pointed out that you, who seek to take political advantage of it, are bereft of the right to do so because you were complicit. Indeed, Galamsey is a major problem now.
But you
because
can't take
of the
political
attitude.
advantage. How are you going to take political advantage?
But
You
why?
can't take
The
political
things we are doing
advantage.
is not political advantage.
No,
Listen, let me tell
political
you.
advantage
Let
is
me
not
tell you.
taken,
I am
Felix.
able to
It is
say-
given.
Listen. I am able
Political
to say-
advantage is not taken,
Moro,
it's given.
I am able to say
You can't take it.
I am able to say that the MPP, at least their leadership, are not commenting on this Galamsey problem because they care about it. They think that it gives them vindication for their inaction. That's all.
Okay.
Based on what I know and the fact about
the issue is
that's
solve the problem that Ghanaians are facing.
Like we have been able to take away the 9 4 years from the bandits that you allowed.
Okay.
But like you have not been able to repeal the law.
We have actually amended the law. It will be repealed in Parliament.
Why didn't you repeal
But
it?
you had 8 years to do so. You didn't do it. We are doing it in months.
But you said that you would do it in a week.
We didn't say we'll do it in a week.
Sam George sat on this
Sam
chair.
George is not President Mahama.
Oh, that's so.
President Mahama's word.
The last minister, Ama Kofi Boa, said
Moro,
state of emergency.
Again, President Mahama, his word binds the NDC. This is our manifesto.
Not Sam George.
Please, I beg you. This is our manifesto.
Fair enough.
It is what
That's
we say
fine,
here.
fine.
And what the president says as the...
Senor Jose,
yes,
Senor Jose, I'm
all.
sorry to use his word, he called it nonsense. That
No
somebody
problem.
comes to tell him
No problem.
that
He has a
President
right.
Mahama didn't say that he will do a state of emergency.
Moro, again,
I'm sorry
Senor,
to use that word.
Again, Senor can describe it in any term he wants. I can also say that I disagree with him based on the objective facts, objective reality. All right, so let there be no doubt about this. Yeah, all right.